It's Criclytics Man versus Machine time, ladies and gentlemen. And it's that time when the robot takes on, of course, Brian Lara. And we're going to be talking about the Southern Derby. You guessed it, Hyderabad versus Bangalore. First up, that SRH batting lineup, Brian, because you touched upon it earlier on game 1 when they played KKR. What do they need to do? How do they need to rejig it? Better question is, what is your ideal top 6 for the Sunrisers Hyderabad?
I think they've got to maintain the same team. There's nothing wrong with the team. It's just the opening batsmen did not perform. David Warner and Ridwan Saha. And obviously there's always a question, why is Bairstow batting at number 4? But you can understand there's so much people up front and you don't want them to be top heavy. His performance was quite good at number 4. Manish Pandey played well and maybe have to be a little bit more aggressive throughout his innings as he builds momentum. But I would go in with the exact same team. I just think it's a situation where it's the first game of the tournament. They were a bit rusty. A lot of main players with bat and ball did not perform, and I think that they should back them going forward.
Let's of course move on to RCB right now, because I really want to know, considering I'm a fan as well, it takes a lot of time for them to get things right in the start of the season. They take about 4 to 5 games invariably for finding their best combination. But the first game, it seems like they've ironed out those wrinkles.
Yeah, but when you're looking at all 4 games so far, the least impressive winner would be RCB. All the other teams were very dominant against their opposition. They were close matches, and you feel that a lot of people are getting into top gear. They just about scraped through against the Mumbai Indians, and I know that at Chip Hook, it's a situation where the average score is a certain amount, and you can make an excuse in that direction. But I think that they were the least impressive.
Yeah, and it's also important to note a little bit more about RCB, and I want to put you to the test here with the 1-minute pitch with regards to their weaknesses in IPL 2020. And guys, if you haven't checked out our Know Your Teams on cricket.com, just for the benefit of our viewers, we've done a SWOT analysis, thorough analysis of all the teams heading into IPL 2021, and it's on our platforms. You can check it out. Now, Brian, in one of those videos, it says that RCB, of course, struggled death bowling. That's common sense, but they also, of course, struggle in the middle phase with the bat. What's your take on this? Do you think they've found the perfect recipe in Maxwell with the bat and Jamieson with the ball at the depth?
Well, they've got to actually keep performing. You can't say after one game that they've found the recipe. They have improved in the areas, and they've picked a guy like Glenn Maxwell, who we know over the last 2 IPLs has been a huge disappointment. Now he started the IPL really well. A good start with the bat. He's amazing in the field. And for me, yes, Jamieson, his height, a very good find for them. But then again, I find there's a little bit of reliance on the 2 big boys, which is, of course, Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. And they have to wrestle that a bit. The other batsmen have to wrestle that away from them and want to be the match winner in the team. Patakal is hopefully coming back. But again, I just feel that without these 2 guys playing a major part, RCB is going to be struggling with the bat. Sani, I'm a big fan of Mohammad Siraj, who just came out from an amazing 6 months in international cricket. Chahal, we all know what he's capable about with the bat. Washington Sundar looks like if he opened in the previous game, may not open again. Did not get the ball in the first 6 overs, which is one of his strengths. So they have a few things to iron out and make sure that they have the right combination. But as I said, it's just such a close tournament. It's not going to be easy. And this is just boiling up to being something very special. This IPL could be a very, very special one.
Okay, a wing coy on RCB's chances. It's a dagger in my heart as I'm a faithful. And considering you've supported SRH and supporting SRH for the competition, if I may add, it's going to be a battle between you and me, Brian, later tonight. But let's see what Criclytics thinks with your valuable insights right now. We'll speed on first to the batsmen. And get this, because Devdutt Padikkal missed the first game, but if he plays, Criclytics bags him to score the most amount of runs. What do you think, Brian?
No, I think it's going to be David Warner. I think David Warner failed in the first match. I think he's not going to start with any great speed, but I think he has that feeling that he needs to make up. And as long as he occupies one side of the wicket and the guys to come, I think they can post something special. When he gets maybe after 8-10 overs, they might see starting to explode and get into something much better to make sure that I come out on top.
Brian, let me warn you. Let me ask you to reconsider that choice, please, because I'll give you a couple of numbers which might make you think twice. David Warner, no one's got out a spin more since IPL 2020 than him. 7 times. He struggles against them. He has a woeful average. Chepauk as well, his average in the IPL is 23. Are you sure, David Warner?
I'm a little bit worried against Washington Sundar in the first couple of overs, but I just sense that if it's one player that's going to bat in the back of his mind, knowing all these numbers that you're talking about is him, and come out at the other end of it, really in a positive way. So I'm going to stick to it, even though those are stats that are against me. I'm going to stick to it, and hopefully that he finds it at form very early in the tournament. Just remember, I'm backing them, and without an informed David Warner, I'm not seeing they can do very well. They need him throughout the tournament to be scoring runs.
I like that. The fact that you're standing by your choices despite the numbers. And of course, let's see if Criclytics wins this phase. Considering you both have gone for left-hander, let's be fair. Let's move on to the bowlers next, because it's that man that Criclytics predicts. Yes, you guessed it, the Fifer man, Harsha Patel. Is he going to do the damage once again? Brian, do you concur with the Criclytics robot?
As long Rashid Khan is not considered an all-rounder, I didn't see many all-rounders list. I think, again, he's going to be the one. And we know that Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers are not big fans of facing him. So I expect Rashid Khan to pick up a couple wickets here and hopefully seal the deal for me.
RCB fans, I think you should just mute this part of the program, because at the end of the day, you don't want that to come true, because they have, of course, gotten out to Rashid once apiece in the IPL. Let's move on to, of course, the all-rounders, and this is where it gets tricky because there are quite a few options. Let me just state them out for you. There's Mohammad Nabi, there's Shehbaz Ahmed, there's, of course, Jason Holder, who didn't play the last game. Who are you going with here? Because Nabi is what Criclytics machine thinks.
Well, yeah, I think I'm slightly ahead of Criclytics at the moment, and they've made a great pick there, because Nabi with the ball is a very, very smart bowler, very astute bowler, and I believe that in terms of getting his run rates and getting making sure he stifles the batting team, he's very much capable of that and picking up wickets. And we saw in the last match where coming in at number 6, number 7, he has now that option of just going hard, depending on if they're chasing or if they're batting first. I think he's an excellent pick by Criclytics, and I'll have to follow in their footsteps. Wow,
I think the robot, if he had ears, he's definitely listening into that and probably praising you for all the compliments. Let's move on to, of course, the wicket-keepers, and it's Wriddhiman Saha, where Criclytics thinks that he's going to score the most amount of runs. He's going to be opening. Brian, there's also, of course, Johnny Bairstow, there's AB de Villiers. What are you going for?
I think AB de Villiers is going to be asked to bat for quite a bit of time. I think the early inroads is going to happen against the RCB, and I will give AB de Villiers the edge to score runs. I don't think David Bairstow, I'm sorry, David, but I don't think Bairstow is going to have the gloves on. Wriddhiman Saha is going to have it. He's coming off a low score in the first match. Very capable batsman, outstanding batsman, but I'd just like to keep my distance away from Criclytics in this one, and I'll go with AB de Villiers.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that you win this round, because if AB de Villiers does come to the party, invariably RCB get over the line. Finally, time to tell if RCB do get over the line with you, Brian, because Criclytics, it's even Stevens, neck and neck is what they call it. 51% is what our data suggests to SRH. Do you concur with the machine?
Yeah, I wish they went to RCB, so at least we'd have a little bit of fighting on who wins the match. But SRH is very, very high up on the list for me in terms of teams that can do well. And you know what? You're going to find a lot of teams at the Wankhede Stadium doing well and scoring a lot of runs. Don't get fooled. That is a batting paradise. Chepauk, it's a little bit different. And teams are going to struggle depending on the bowlers they are facing, which happened with SRH, but not this time around. I think that the combination of both teams lends itself that SRH should have that slight advantage, and I'll go with them.
Alright, I mean, only time will tell, of course, if you can prevail over the machine. Let's, of course, finish up this quick chat with the fantasy picks. It's Mohammad Nabi and Bhuvneshwar Kumar in terms of captain and vice-captain selections made by the Criclytics machine. Brian, quickly from you, captain and vice-captain to watch out in this game?
I think it's going to be Rashid Khan and the actual captain, David Warner.
Wow, it's orange galore in terms of Brian's predictions for this one, and only time will tell in terms of who will come out on top. It's Brian's team against my team. The robot is in my favour slightly, but again, it matters the most in cricket.com. Download the cricket.com app because Brian is having tremendous fun on it, and we'll let him be. Brian, final thoughts from you before we just close this proceedings.
It's going to be an excellent match. I think it's been great so far. My feeling, I don't know if you saw it somewhere, but I feel that after round 2, I'm giving something away. After round 2, teams are only going to be separated by run rate. You know what that means? All 4 losing teams are going to be successful in the second rounds of the game.
Okay. When you said giving something away, I think fans were peering at the screen thinking, is it going to be a goodie bag or is it going to be any sort of merchandise that Brian Lara has to give them? But only, of course, the rest of the season will tell us if that is the case or not. So we'll keep that suspense hanging. In the meanwhile, download the cricket.com app. And it's a goodbye from us. And of course, follow us on our social media handles.